Here are two true stories from Reddit. The links to the stories are in the description below. Enjoy. Number 1. My name is Igor, and this happened about 10 years ago when I was around 11 or 12. I still remember this like it was yesterday. My family was in financial straits and we lived in a poor neighborhood. Our house was kind of isolated from the others. There were houses nearby, but our house was a bit further down the road. We didn't have any fence surrounding our property, and just a few bushes scattered here and there. To get inside our house, you had to open a small broken door that got you on the porch, and after that was the main door to the entry. One night, my sister and parents were out, and I was home alone, playing video games with a friend. My friend was a 15-year-old girl, about 3 years older than me. My family and hers had been close friends for a long time. She was like a big sister to me. You could say she was babysitting me, but not really. Anyway, she left the room to go get some water, and then she comes running back towards my room and tells me to turn off my gaming console. I ask her why. She looks extremely frightened. She then shuts off my PS2 and my bedroom light. She tells me to stay close. I start to freak out. She tells me that she sees two older men outside with a camera, filming my house. We quietly tiptoe towards the kitchen in complete darkness to look for a knife. She starts to freak out as one of the men try to open our door by either fidgeting with the handle or picking the lock. The other guy was nowhere to be seen. My friend knew that my family had a gun and asked me where it was. My dad had a gun that was given to him by a close friend who was a police officer. I told her it was in my parents' bedroom on top of the closet. We both get up and run to the room. She grabs the gun from atop the closet and loads it with 2 or 3 bullets. Out of nowhere, we hear one of the windows break. Both men were wearing masks, muffling their voices, but we could clearly hear the one guy telling the other, who was trying to open the door, "Get away from the door. I found a way inside. Kill the kid and get the girl." At that point, I started to freeze and almost black out. I couldn't think straight. Then my friend starts running with my dad's gun, aimed right at them, and screams in Serbian, "If any of you motherfuckers hurt Igor and me, I will fucking shoot your dicks off!" The men bolt just before entering the window. My friend unlocks the door and runs toward them until she's out in the middle of the street in front of the house. She then fires a warning shot in the air. I remember the shot being so loud, since where I lived was a quiet place. She comes back inside the house and calls the police. Then she calls my family and hers. We tell the story to everyone. My mother cried so much that night. The police told us there were some break-ins near where I live. Some of the families were hurt, but luckily, no one has died. It seemed like these guys were amateurs. One was eventually caught, but they never found the other one. Thankfully, I've never had a similar experience like that ever again. Number 2. About 2 years ago, I was driving home from a family reunion. It was pretty late at night, and the drive home took about 2 hours. I didn't stay the night because I had to be back for work the following day. Most of the drive was on roads with dense bushes and trees on the either side. You know, the real creepy ones you see a lot in movies? Yeah. About 45 minutes into the drive, I started to get really tired. You know how sometimes you just suddenly become really tired out of nowhere? Well, yeah, that happened to me. I knew I wasn't going to last, but I didn't come across any place that I felt I could park and safely sleep. After several more miles, it became clear to me that I wasn't going to find a place to pull into and my tiredness wasn't going away. So I pulled over to the side of the road and onto the grass and parked behind some bushes. I wanted to hide my car from anybody else who was going to drive past. I made a mental note that the time was 11:22 p.m. and then fell asleep. Sometime later, I was awoken by a scratching sound. I looked at the clock. 11:50. The sound had stopped after a few seconds, and because I was still extremely tired, I didn't bother looking around and simply went back to sleep. I was later woken by the same sound, and it was now 12:40. This time it really freaked me out because the sound didn't stop. The thought ran across my mind that it was just an animal inspecting the car. But why would it return almost an hour after it left the previous time? I looked in my rearview mirror and just managed to catch a glimpse of something running away into the forest. Now, at the time, I thought it was the damn hook killer. You know, the one that scratched the couple's car and then slaughtered the guy when he got out to investigate? Fuck that, I thought to myself. So I got the hell out of there. There was a bin no more than 100 yards up the road, and as I came around it, there was a car parked off to the side with the driver's side door opened. I slowed down to see if anyone was in there, and there wasn't. Then I looked in my rearview mirror. I didn't see anything. All of a sudden, this guy comes sprinting around the corner. He starts screaming at me, shouting stuff like, "Hey! Hey you! Get the fuck out of your car! Now!" I noped the fuck out of there and sped off. I never saw the guy again. Moral of the story? Don't fucking sleep on the side of a deserted road. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time.